Hello Seekers, welcome back to my channel. Thank you to all my new subscribers and to those of you who have taken the time and energy to listen to this reading. Today we're going to look at what the Egyptian goddess Isis wants you to know today. I have my 4 piles as usual: earth, air, fire and water. And while you're making up your mind about which pile you want to pick, remember that this is a timeless reading. That means simply that you will find this reading when you are ready to hear it, when the message is meant for you. Remember too that this is a general reading. So when you listen to it, remember to take from it what resonates with your own inner wisdom, with your own soul. Let the rest go. If you feel drawn to more than one pile, remember that you can listen to as many of the piles as you want. If you feel that none of the piles resonate, feel free to browse my other readings or to look on other channels for a reading that will perhaps help you more at this time. So just to recap, here is earth with quartz crystal in the macabre shape, air with the feather, and orbicular jasper, beautiful piece, also known as Atlantis Stone. This is the fire pile with Galena. Oh, this is it's a heavy stone. It's got some lead in it. Galena with fire, and beautiful Hemimorphite for the water pile. So take your time and pick your pile. Earth with quartz, air with Atlantis stone, fire with Galena, and water with Hemimorphite. I will see you in your reading. The timestamps are below, and remember to click on the link to my blog, as I will put up explanations of the different energies of the crystals that I have used. Earth, air, fire, and water. See you in your reading. Hello Earth pile, and welcome to your reading. You have the beautiful clear quartz crystal cut in the shape of the sacred geometry Merkaba. Remember to look at my blog. I will be putting information about the energies that the crystal brings to your reading. And let's hear what Isis wants you to know today. What message is Isis bringing to you, Earth pile? There is your Isis card, beautiful card. We will open her as we begin the reading. Here are your 3 tarot cards. This is the key theme to consider. This is the challenge in the situation. Let's move these out the way. And this is the situation. We will put that under Isis. Then let us look at your oracle cards. We have Jupiter in Leo with publicity. It's a big card, that. We'll put that next to Isis. And the Sacred Landscape Oracle tells us that somehow today there is going to be a big opportunity. So let us start the reading with, just trying to get these in so you can see them all. Let us start the reading with the message from Isis. And, interesting, portal of light. It is only this physical reality that is bound by time and space. You are a conscious being on levels beyond the physical world. You are guided to work with your healing powers beyond the confines of time and space. You will not become ungrounded through such spiritual work. You are not leaving your earthly connection behind. You are merely adding to it. That is a beautiful message. And clearly, this is the opportunity that is cropping up today. So the situation today that you're going to be dealing with is an emotional one. It is perhaps a new understanding that you're coming into. There has been something that you have been hovering on the edge of understanding. It has been almost as if you've been encaged, as if you feel that you've been trapped in a situation, and you look beyond the bars of your cage and you see other people having the freedom that you don't have. And this card, the situation today, this message from Isis is saying to you that those dreams that you have, those visions, those wishes, those hopes, you need to come into a new understanding. You need, the challenge here is for you to move beyond the illusion that you are trapped. Because when you are in a situation, you can either see the bars or you can see the picture beyond the bars. And what Isis has said in her opening message is that don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. This door is open for you. Don't be afraid to fly out and join those other birds flying in the area that you want to, flying in the direction that you want to, using the opportunities that you are longing for. Those opportunities are there for you as well. But you need to be the one to take the leap. The cage door is not shut. It's wide open and the bars themselves are starting to disappear. This is starting to open up for you. Jupiter in Leo is all about going out there and being seen. It's going out there and being seen as a star, not just being seen, but being seen as a shining star, because Jupiter expands and Leo is all about creativity and expansiveness and shining a light. And this portal of light message that Isis has brought you is saying, yes, the opportunity is there, but you need to move beyond the illusion that you are trapped in a cage while everybody else has opportunities. This is not, remember that in her message, Isis says you are not leaving your earthly connection behind. You are merely adding to it. And what that means in this situation, Earth Pal, is that you will not lose what you have in the material sense. Whatever these dreams are, whatever this opportunity that you are longing to leap and take advantage of, it is there for you. It will not destroy what you already have. It will merely add to it. It will enrich it. And you have the opportunity to go out there and be seen. But you do need to move away from thinking that everybody else has the good luck. It is you that are keeping yourself trapped inside the bars, which are in essence actually fading. And there is no door. You can fly out anytime you want. And the key element to consider is the abundance card. This is suggesting that at some point, you can see this figure is so complete and whole in his sense of who he is. He has married all the different facets of himself. He is unashamedly masculine, but he is also quite in touch with the soft pink feminine lotus flower. So he's sitting on the book of wisdom, but he is surrounded by an opulent, materially abundant life. And the message in terms of your message from Isis, this card, this key theme to consider, is saying you can use the opportunities that are out there. You can step into the light and be seen as a star. If you would just understand that it is you that needs to step out of the bars and learn to marry the situation outside the bars and the situation inside the bars. You can fly freely between both the outside and the inside. You can fly between the spirit world and the earthly world. You can fly between your family commitments and your desire to go out there and be seen, to use opportunities, to grow and to be abundant. And the final word, of course, is that this is, Isis is saying that whatever opportunity you are longing to take is definitely a calling. Don't be afraid, take the leap, and the abundance in all areas, material, spiritual, emotional, the abundance is there waiting for you to realize that it is yours for the taking. And that, Earth Pal, is your reading, sent from my heart to yours. I wish you blessings and so much love, and I look forward to having you join us in the next reading. Welcome to your reading, Air Pal. Your crystal today is the beautiful orbicular jasper, also known as the Atlantis Stone. And for those of you that don't know about the legend of Atlantis, it is a city that was lost to sea, a whole civilization of extremely advanced and intellectual beings. So there is your ocean jasper, the orbicular one. And let's have a look at your cards. And of course, today we are looking at what Isis has to tell you. So what spirit message is the Egyptian goddess Isis bringing for the Air Pal? So that is your Isis card. We will read the message once we have looked at all of your other cards. We'll look at your tarot cards first. So this is the situation, clinging to the past. This is the challenge in the situation, innocence. And this is the key theme to consider, projection. And let's see how that ties in with your oracle cards. The first message is Mercury in Libra. So there we have Mercury in Libra and Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden with the serpent-tongued tempter. And what is the oracle message from the sacred landscape of your soul? Success, this magnificent Black Panther coming out of the rich and abundant jungle. So let's begin your reading by seeing what message Isis has for Air Pal. So Air Pal, the Lunar Queen. There is a deep feminine wisdom that recognizes the importance of cycles of rest and replenishment as essential to balance our actions of power and demonstration. You are asked to allow this replenishment for yourself now, trusting that you are in a cycle of creation that is about to shift into a new phase. Release and enjoy the process without having to control or force it. Now that makes sense, especially of this card. So, Air Pal, it is time for you to release something, to let something go. It's not a case of throwing the baby out with the bathwater, but it is time to recognize that all things in life have cycles. There are new beginnings, there are culminations, there are peaks, and of course there are endings. And in every ending there is a new beginning. But we cannot start our new beginnings unless we let go the baggage from the past cycle. You won't, if any of you are gardeners, air pal, you'll know that it's very wise to deadhead a plant. Because if you don't deadhead a plant, it will stop flowering and it will just, make seeds and the plant will eventually die. So depending on where you are in your cycle, you need to let go, whether it's memories, whether it is material stuff, whether it is a relationship or a job or an idea or a dream, whatever it is, remember and honor it. Tie up those memories, tie up that past with a nice red bow, but let it go. We do need to honor the past because we would not be who we are today if we did not honor the past. So stop clinging to the past. And it's important too, because this is all about enriching yourself to move forward to a great new beginning. And a key thing to remember, this is the challenge in the situation. This old man, you can see from his face, he's wrinkled, he's grey-haired. He has really lived life to the full. He's had joys, he's had sorrows. You can see the pain and suffering etched onto his face. And yet he has the capacity to find joy. He is surrounded by a feeling of love, of peace and calm. He has the simplicity and yet the depth to be able to look at that little praying mantis and to enjoy it with the innocence of a child. And that is the challenge in this situation. As you let the past go, remember it with the innocence of a child, not in a childish way, but with the innocence of a child. And it is that will help ease you away from the past into the new beginning. And one of the key themes to remember is we need to be careful that we look at the situation, whatever the memories are that we are letting go, whatever the situation is, we need to be able to look at it clearly and to own what is ours and to acknowledge what is not ours but what is being projected onto us. Because sometimes the situation is made more difficult, it's made cloudy, unclear, because we're not quite sure what is our baggage and what is somebody else's baggage. It's not necessarily a person, it could be a job, it could be anything. But we need to own what is ours, and we need to put a firm line between what is not ours, because we don't want to carry a heaviness that is not ours. We need to be able to, with the innocence and wisdom and childlike wisdom of this old man, we need to be able to let the past go and separate what is our stuff that we must work on and what is somebody else's stuff that we need to let go. And it is this that will be the path to success. It's important. This card is telling us that we need to communicate, because Mercury, of course, is all about communication. And it is also about our thought process and how we think. And this brings us back to this projection card. We need to think in moderate terms. We need to think in terms of balance and justice. What is fair? What is fair to us? What is fair to the other side of the situation? And we need to make sure that we influence the situation with clear, moderate, well-balanced communication techniques. And it is that will bring success to the situation. It is that will allow us to release the old cycle and to enjoy the process of creating a new cycle. It will allow us to replenish ourselves in a pure, wholesome way that is balanced and fair, not only to others, but to ourselves as well. And that air power is your reading, sent from my heart to yours. I wish you blessings and so much love, and I look forward to having you join us in the next reading. Welcome to your reading, Fire Power. Let's move your candle over here. You have the crystal Galena. It's quite a heavy crystal. Remember to check out my blog, because I will put some explanations about the crystals for you. Let us see what Isis has to tell you, Fire Power. We will look at, this is the card of Isis. We will read the message on the back once we have looked at your other cards. So let's start with your tarot cards. This is the situation, receptivity. This is the challenge in the situation, consciousness, that vast consciousness that is the universal consciousness. And the key theme to consider is slowing down. Pretty good advice for a Fire Power. Let us see your oracle cards. You have a very fiery sun in Sagittarius, filled with enthusiasm and lots and lots of fire energy there. So very appropriate for the Fire Power. And it makes this slowing down card very interesting. Actually, all these three cards, it's very unfire-like, but we'll talk about that now. And this is the Sacred Landscape Oracle, which is miracles. What a beautiful card with the double rainbow there. So it's not just one miracle, it's two miracles. So let me bring this down so you can see this card nicely. And let us see what message the Egyptian goddess Isis has for you today. So there's the pillar with Isis and the hieroglyphics. And the message is, pillar of light burning bright, earth star above, soul, sorry, let me reread that. Pillar of light burning bright, earth star below, soul star above. Burn away all that is not light. Transform all into unconditional love. Star of Isis, descend your blessing and peace without end. Grace me now with peace and protection, completely embraced by divine perfection. Interesting. If you look at that, it's a very fiery card as well. So there's quite a contrast of energies here. This is the Fire Power. This is a card of light and fire. It's about burning bright. This is Sun in Sagittarius, which is very fiery energy. And yet over here, we have much calmer energies. And I think, to me, I feel that the energy of Isis is reminding you, Fire Power, that sometimes receptivity is as important as a fast-paced, enthusiastic energy. Yes, that is an essential part of this situation, that it's a fiery, fast-moving, enthusiastic, producing energy. It requires enthusiasm. But to have the miracle happen, to reach the goals, there also needs to be an element of slowing down. This little tortoise is actually in the traditional pack. It's the Knight of Pentacles. It's a knight that is very solid. It is very stable. It is a measured card. It doesn't rush into anything with such enthusiasm that it rushes where angels fear to tread. This card, which is a key theme to consider, is a card that advises caution, consideration, reviewing, reflection before moving forward. It is not a card that advises stopping. It is a card of movement, but it is a more stately movement. It is not a fire burning out of control like Sun in Sagittarius can sometimes do in enthusiasm. There's no malice here. This is simply, Sun in Sagittarius is notorious for blurting out what pops into its mind. It is never a hypocrite, Sagittarius in Sun in Sagittarius, but it is perhaps a little bit over-enthusiastic, and it can come across very strong, and in its enthusiasm, it can singe the edges of the situation or other people's feelings. And in this situation, Isis is saying, let the light burn bright, but transform it into unconditional love. Transform that burning bright enthusiasm and passion into a peaceful, more protected, divine kind of energy. And this card, the Queen of Water or the Queen of Cups, is all about, I don't want to use the word passivity because it's not a passive card. It's more a case of making a conscious choice of waiting, of receiving, of instead of rushing out there and doing without thinking. Take advice from the Knight of Pentacles. Take advice from this little tortoise that is so secure and so confident and so steady and stable that it can afford to wait. It knows that the situation is going to occur in divine timing, and that rushing it can sometimes ruin it. So the message here from Isis is to get the miracles to occur. Have the enthusiasm, but harness it into a more stable, considered, reflective, receptive type of energy. And that will bring us to, it will be challenging to do, because this is a very sharp, focused energy, the Sun in Sagittarius. Its symbol, its glyph is the arrow, and the one-pointed arrow, it will focus on something and off it will go. But the challenge in this situation is that it requires a more serene, broader view. It requires a stepping back and a sitting back and a waiting and letting the knowledge descend. Let the burning fire come down in divine timing with that perfect divine energy that knows just when it's right to act and when it is right to wait. And it is in that way that the situation will be able to produce the miracles that you are hoping for. And that, firepower, is your reading. Sent from my heart to yours. I wish you blessings and so much love, and I look forward to having you join us in the next reading. Welcome to your reading, water pile. You have the beautiful Hemimorphite, beautiful turquoise stone. Let's find somewhere to put it for you where you can see it. There you are. And we will move your water out of the way. So today we are looking at what message the Spirit of Isis has for you. And this is your Isis card. And we will read that once we have looked at your other cards. So let's begin with your tarot cards. Remember to look at my blog. I will be putting information about the crystals that I've used. So if you want to find out more about your beautiful Hemimorphite, pop over to my blog. The link is in the description below. Let's get back to your reading. The tarot cards, the situation is going with the flow. Very suitable for a water card. Look at that beautiful oceanic stillness and that peaceful figure just flowing along. The challenge in the situation is the burden. That poor exhausted man carrying that fool with the rooster on its head. And the key theme to consider is courage. Major Arcana 8, which in traditional packs is known as strength. So this key theme to consider is that there is strength and courage here. Let's have a look at your oracle cards, and then we'll start by reading Isis's message for you, and we will then start putting all the cards together to get the message for Isis. You have Mercury in Virgo with organization. That's a very different energy. Okay, let's see what the sacred landscape is. Oh, beautiful. Transformation. Right, some interesting cards here. Let's move that a little bit further that way. And hopefully you can see all of these cards nicely and clearly. Right, let's begin your reading with finding out what Isis has to say to you. Scales of balance. Balancing give and take, directing and flowing, play and solitude are ways to heal the relationship between the inner masculine and feminine energies. Connection with the body is the most powerful form of healing for the feminine energy, as it holds the secrets to divine feminine wisdom. So dance, sing, and play. Beautiful. All right. So there's not much dancing and singing going on with this poor fellow. He's absolutely exhausted. And the feeling I'm getting here is that there's something in your situation, water pile, perhaps a physical situation, perhaps an emotional situation, perhaps a spiritual situation that is really weighing you down. It is a heavy, heavy burden, and you are almost exhausted by it. And yet there's a part of you that feels almost foolish that you feel that it's such a burden. But remember, it's all relative. What can be something light for somebody else to carry may be a real struggle for another person. And I think what I'm feeling here is that part of this burden arises out of this energy. This Mercury in Virgo is a very disciplined, organized, systematic type of energy. It likes to keep things on track and in their place. And perhaps the message that Isis, remember, she said, dance, sing, and play. And it's about keeping a balance between things. These two cards here suggest that this very disciplined, organized energy has perhaps taken on too much. This card here, I'm getting almost two energies off this card. The first one is that the exhaustion from this card, this burden that you're carrying, water pile, has actually made you almost throw up your hands and just lie back and say, right, I'm just drifting along now. But there's another perception of this energy, which is about letting go of control. And that is important with this Mercury and Virgo energy, because letting go of control is extremely difficult for that Mercury in Virgo energy. And yet, whichever of the energies it is, whether it is just letting go of control and just saying, right, I can't do anymore, I'm just going where the river takes me, or if it is a conscious choice of saying, I need to let go and not try and control things so much, it's going to take courage. It's going to take strength to get things back in balance, where this is the more positive expression of this card, rather than just sheer exhaustion, drifting along a river because you haven't got the energy to do anything more because you're so exhausted from this burden. This card is suggesting that it will take strength to change that energy from an exhausted energy into a surrender energy, to surrendering to the divine. Because remember, this is about healing. The message from Isis is that things need to come back in balance so that a healing can occur, so that there is time for the organization and the duty and the discipline that is required for the situation, but that it is not an overburdened situation where one person is carrying more than their fair share. And it will take courage to communicate, because remember, Mercury is the energy of communication, and it will take strength and courage to communicate the sense of exhaustion, the sense of needing to let things go. It will take strength and courage to communicate the sense of being overburdened, the sense of being utterly exhausted, and to try and transform this energy from an energy of just drifting through sheer exhaustion to an energy of surrendering and going with the flow. But there is the strength and courage available. And once you have made that choice to surrender rather than just drift, a wonderful transformation is waiting. This is the transformation that will emerge as a perfect balance between emotions and intellect. The combination of just enough emotion and just enough intellect will result in the perfect blooming of this beautiful rose. And of course, that is the message from Isis. Balancing, give and take, directing and flowing, play and solitude are ways to heal the relationship. And that water pile is the most important thing that you need to take from this message from Isis. Bring things back into balance, and a huge transformation will happen in your life. And that water pile is your reading, sent from my heart to yours. I wish you blessings and so much love, and I look forward to having you join us in the next reading.